Now I'm going to show you the steps to getting for this particular one, I'm going to show you Love on the glass. This is a really fun process. I'm really excited to show you. It actually takes a lot more than it looks. It's not just a sticker I slapped on there or anything like that. I used a couple of different things to get this whole process made. I used the Cricut vinyl. You can use any color, it doesn't matter, because you're not even actually going to have the vinyl on there. You're just using it as like a template. I used the vinyl, I used the transfer tape, which is required. You might be able to do it without the transfer tape, but it would take a lot longer and you probably wouldn't get it on there as nicely and evenly. So I will show you the transfer tape process. And I used calligraphy for this one, as well as George. Calligraphy was the writing that I used, the lettering, and the oval itself was from George and Basic Shapes. And then I also had to use Cricut Design Studio on my computer to combine the lettering with the oval. So I already have that cut out on my Cricut machine. I used the Cricut Expression. I've already got it on here. And I just want to show you the whole process that you have to do to be able to get the gold in the oval and not on the lettering. And first I started by getting my oval and Love cut out. I'm not sure if you can see it too well, but you have to kind of clean it up a little bit before we use our transfer tape. And it's great to do that while it's still on the mat. So in order to do that, I obviously need to take off the actual oval because that is going to be where our glitter goes. So, well, should I say glitter? Our embossing tinsel. So just kind of use your tool to push down, make sure the letters stay in place and peel off the oval. And then, because I peeled that off, I still have the outer piece of the oval, which I need so that I can get that shape. And I went ahead and took an X-Acto knife and cut around the oval so that I don't have this whole entire sheet, so that I can get it exactly where I want it on the glass and see what I'm doing. So you can peel that off. So just remember, before it was just a regular oval with the love in the center. You peel out the oval and then you make another, you cut around the oval so that you can peel this whole sheet off. Now that I have that, the last step I need to do before applying my transfer tape is clean up the inside, take out the middle of the O. And your letters might come up a little bit, that's fine. While you're doing this, just press them back down again. And looks like the E already came off by itself, the middle of the E. So now I'm going to apply my transfer tape. Now, in order to be able to see, like I said, exactly what I'm doing, because I want to make sure I'm getting it evenly on the glass. So I just cut the transfer tape from the roll. It comes just like the vinyl does in a big roll. I cut out basically around the size of the shape that I'm doing. I just kind of guessed a little bit, but... And just so you know, the oval is from George and Basic Shapes. Like I said, I made it about 3.5 inches long by a 1 1/4 inches wide. So we do have the cut files on our website if you wanted to do it that way, if you wanted to get the exact measurements. But just in case, if you don't want to go that route and you want to just do it on your own and kind of wing it, it's about 3.5 inches long by 1 1/4 inches wide. And the lettering itself is 1 inches. Now, before when I was using the transfer tape, I, for some reason, kept thinking you needed to use the red grid. Actually, this is just the backing, so you can throw that to the side. And this is the actual transfer tape. Make sure that you're pressing it sticky face down onto your lettering. And it is not going to mess it up by any means. It's just going to help us pick it up so that we keep the exact same shape. Now, I got my little stick over here, which, by the way, does come with the transfer tape. So you just want to press on your image and make sure that you're getting it really good onto the transfer tape. Press on your letters. Don't worry, they will not move. They're not going to move out of place when you're pressing on them. Just make sure you're getting it on there good so that when we peel off our transfer tape. Everything is going to stick right where we want it. And of course it's going to look like it's backwards to you right now. So it just peeled right off of the backing of the vinyl. So now we can put that to the side. And our glass should be good and dry now. Like I said before, it does not take that long. Go ahead and touch it, make sure. So we have our glass ready. And again, you can measure it if you would like. I want to say I did it about 1.5 inches from the brim, but I just kind of eyeballed it to, depending on what shape glass you use. Before, this is a straight glass. This time I'm using more of a beveled glass to show you that even if the glass is rounded, it doesn't have to be a perfectly straight glass. It will go on there just as good. So in order to get that, so you just want to get it right on the glass where you want it. Try to get it as even as you can. And you push. Start from the middle, I found, is the best way. And this is why this transfer tape works so well. In case you don't know, if you've never worked with vinyl, if you don't use the transfer tape, the vinyl is very, very flexible, and it is so hard to get it on exactly the way that you need it. The transfer tape basically does all the hard work for you and keeps everything in place. So I highly recommend using it. We have tried doing this without it, and basically it didn't work. So then we were like, oh, let's use our transfer tape. That's what they made it for. And I always imagine people just using the transfer tape for putting decor on their walls, like in their kitchen or whatever. And this actually can be used for anything now that I'm starting to learn more about it. So again, use the tool. And what we're doing here is just making sure we're getting our vinyl on very good on the glass. And the reason we need it on there so well is because I'm going to be coming through with glue and the embossing tinsel. And if I don't have it on there very well, then it might slip through the cracks and go underneath the vinyl. And then we won't have as clean of a look as we need. And with as thin as some of the lettering is on here, you really need to make sure the lettering is on there extra good. Now that we have our vinyl on, we can peel off our transfer tape. And now we have our stencil down. You could leave it like that if you wanted to, but we decided to give it some more bling and use our embossing powder.